What's going on, people, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how I master tracks, my mastering chain at the moment, and I'm going to show you how you can get your songs to go from this.
I never lost my appetite, it's a belly full of hunger. I got people counting on me, I can't be another number. That's how
to this.
I never lost my appetite, it's a belly full of hunger. I got people counting on me, I can't be another number. That's how I used to think when I was billing.
All right, now I did do a whole series on mastering, but of course that was in 2020, that was last year, so a lot has changed. I've got new plugins, new techniques. The funny story is about that mastering series that I did, I recorded all of that and I kind of scheduled it to upload on YouTube as I was about to go to Thailand. I was about to travel, I was about to go to Thailand, and everyone's like to me, bro, you're mad going to Thailand. Ain't you heard of this new virus that's popping off in Asia? And I was like, nah, bro, that's bro, it's not even that deep. It's not even that deep. Next thing I know, the whole world is in a fucking Panasonic. You get me? But anyway, we're not here to talk about pandemics and that. We're here to talk about mastering. So here is my chain. At the very beginning, I have a virtual mix bus. Now, I'm obsessed with analog emulations, and Slate do some of the best. These type of plugins give you very, very subtle changes to your sound, but when you stack a few up, when you're using a few in your chain, you get a really big difference, a really glued together mix, much bigger sounding mix. And of course, if you're trying to stray away, you're trying to get away from that digital sound, bro, analog emulators. Pro Q2, I did a little cut here at 200 because I felt like Joey's vocals were a little bit boomy, a little bit boxy. Now, when you're doing EQ on your master chain or your mix bus, we're talking very, very small bumps and cuts. So nothing is above like 3 decibels here. So we've got a little bump here at 50 hertz, a little cut here at 227 and 422, and that's to get rid of that boxy sound in the vocals. 1.2K, and that's to add some presence to the mix. And I've got another EQ that I'm going to show you in a minute that adds a little bit more presence to our mix. And then these few little cuts here, just felt like his vocals were just a little bit harsh. So yeah, we done also these low roll-offs and high roll-offs, and that is so we're not sending unnecessary frequencies and information to our limiters. The human ear can't hear this information down here and up here, so it's best just to cut that out with caution. You don't want to go too high and then your tunes ain't kicking in clubs and on subwoofers and things like that. So be careful, especially if you haven't got good speakers when doing low roll-offs. In fact, you want to be careful with everything you do on the mix bus. Trust me, you want to do everything in small increments. Virtual tape machines and tape machines in general help you to get some body, some low end in your tracks, and you might know that I love low end, you get what I'm saying? So we're using a virtual tape machine by Slate. As I said before, I really like Slate's analog emulations, and this tape machine is one of my favorites. If you switch this to 15 IPS, you get a lot more sub, you get a lot more low end in your tracks. 30 IPS is if you want a bit more emphasized high end, but we're using 15 IPS because we want that low end. And in the settings, we've also turn down this noise reduction as well, because that's just noise, bro. That is just unnecessary noise that we don't need. You get me? Then we've got this Cream EQ, the Cream 2 EQ. If you watched my Black Friday pickups, you'll see that I bought this plugin and I love it so far. It's probably my favorite plugin in this mix/master bus chain. The low end stuff that you can add to it is really good. The treble is really good, but what I really love is this presence section here. 2.7, a little boost here just adds a whole lot of presence, and we can listen to before and after, in fact.
I never lost my appetite, it's a belly full of hunger. I got people counting on me, I can't be another number. That's how I used to think when I was billing up my ganja.
Like, that just adds width to it. I don't know what the science is behind this plugin, but it just sounds bigger. I love this knob here, this presence knob. I do need to do some research on what it's actually doing, but to me it sounds beautiful. I love it. Soft clipper. Now you have to be careful. Oh yeah, also I did a little boost here at 100 hertz. I think that's for the kick drum. The kick drum's not very powerful in this beat. I didn't have the beat stems when I mixed this track, and the kick is a little bit flimsy, so I just wanted to do a little boost here at 100 hertz. We've got soft clipper. Now, soft clippers are another plugin that you have to be very careful with, because if you overuse them, or if you do like if you're too aggressive with them, you can just ruin your mixes and make the transients just completely shit themselves. So we're just doing a little bit of clipping here just so we've got a more consistent level going into our compressors. So let me fast forward to where the kick is actually, so you can hear.
With my name up on that bumper, I ain't plain Jane.
Nah, bruv, that's even too much.
With my name up on that bumper, I ain't plain Jane. Tell them you will never see me play it safe. Even if I moved out the hood, I'm still a bait face. No AKs, but bro had a tray 8. That barrel on the radiators.
But you hear what I'm saying about the kick? The kick is a little bit flimsy. If I had the beat stems, I would have made this sound much better. But we move. Yeah, but as you saw there, on this little section here,
with my name up on that bumper, I ain't plain Jane. Tell them you will.
It just soft clips the very peaky stuff, the stuff that's super peaky, peaking duck. And that's, for me, that's just so I've got a more consistent level going into my compressor. The compressor isn't having to do any hard work, because just like with EQing, you don't want to go too mad with compressors on mix buses and master buses. I've spoke about this in my last videos. You can really fuck your mixes up doing too much with these compressors. You can just ruin the transients. You can make things like that pump, you know, when a track pumps, then the vocals duck and things like that. That's because of limiters and compression. Not so much limiters, but more so compression. We want to do a slow attack and a fast release. You don't have to be this extreme with it, but this is quite an extreme setting. But a slow attack and a fast release gives us a punchy sound. It makes our transients cut through in the mix very well. And we want that with rap songs and drill songs and things like that. Because I eased off on the soft clipper, I might need to readjust this now.
With my name up on that bumper, I ain't plain Jane. Tell them you will never see me play it safe. Even if I moved out the hood, I'm still a bait face. No.
Literally 1 decibel of gain reduction there. Yeah, keep it simple with that. This is parallel compression. This compressor here has got a preset here called Mix Squasher, and I love using this for parallel compression on my mix bus. I put it on about 10 to 15%, and I just slam this thing. And what that does is it makes it so everything that's not in those really transient parts, so the kicks and the 808s, just gets brought to the forefront of the mix a little bit.
With my name up on that bumper, I ain't plain Jane. Tell them you will never see me play it safe. Even if I moved out the hood.
So we're doing -10 there. We're really smashing this thing. A Deesser. Now, I don't use this Deesser on my tracks individually. I don't use it on my vocals or anything like that. But the mastering presets it has are really good. If your tracks are still sounding sibilant, and you wasn't able to, or you didn't get a chance to sort it out in the mix, this is a great plugin here, because it is very good at only catching the vocals and not messing around with the hi-hats or the snares or anything too tough. So I've turned down the sensitivity and the amount because I don't want to go mad with it. I was already quite happy with the mix before I got to the mastering stage. But yeah, a lot of the times I just leave it. If I'm going to master my own songs, I leave it. I give myself a little space between mixing and mastering, just so I can reset my ears and come back to it with a fresh mind state. But like I said, if you're going to be mixing your own songs, you want to get it perfect in the mix. And everything you do in the master needs to be just small touches.
With my name up on that bumper, I ain't plain Jane. Tell them you will never see me play it safe.
Might even turn that down just a touch, just a fraction. Then we've got Soothe, another great preset here, even more ear-friendly top on master. I really like this preset, and that's just to smooth out the vocals a little bit more. The hi-hats weren't a problem in this, but it's also good if your hi-hats are a bit sizzly. You might throw that on there. The Ozone 8. Now, I use this in my chain. At the moment, I'm using it just for the imager. Sometimes if I'm feeling spicy, I might throw a multi-band compressor on there, or even a dynamic EQ. But in this particular song, I'm just using the imager. And as well, again, I said it in my last series, in my last mastering videos, try and be conservative with this plugin here. Images, you can just fuck your shit up. I keep saying that, but it's true. If you go mad with these images, you will just mess your stuff up. You want to stay away from the low frequencies as well. when using images, because I think I've spoken about this before, or it might be in a video that's coming out soon. Any low information sub and things like that, you want it to be dead center. So if you're going to do anything kind of techie with your 808s, like you want to add reverb to them or anything like that to kind of make them sound kind of cool, give a new kind of sound, make sure you're only applying stuff like that to the higher ends of the 808s or the bass and even kick drums, because you don't want your bass to get lost in the sauce. You want it to be dead center. And sometimes you could even do something like this with an imager and like turn it down below a certain part, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm happy with just the high, mid, and the highs. Even this is a little bit extreme, but it is what it is. And then we have our Slate VGX Virtual Mastering Console. I love this plugin for mastering because it's very simple to use. You just got a gain knob here. You got a few other knobs. You got a compressor up here as well, but we're not really worried about that too tough. We're just worried about this gain knob because we just want volume at this point. We may add a little tiny bit of compression, like 1-to-1 ratio or something like that. And we might add some transients and a low punch. But like I said, anything we're doing here, we're not trying to make drastic changes. We just want to give our tracks that polish. We want to give our tracks that volume. So this plugin is great for that. Now, I'm not that reliant on this plugin's limiter. I'm not a big fan of it. It's not very reliable. I'm not sure what the limiting side of things is with this plugin. You got this kind of ceiling setting here, but I find it doesn't catch those peaks sometimes. So I use the Ozone 8 here just as a second line of defense, and I have a 0.2 ceiling or maybe a 0.5 if I want a really squashed sound. But for this track, I'm doing a 0.2. I've got the character all the way turned down, and I've got it set to modern. If I do still want a little bit more volume, I might bring this down. But for this particular mix, I'm not trying to make it too loud because I don't want to make my capture software sweat or anything like that. So we're keeping it simple. So let's hear another before and after. So let's play it before and after. I don't know why it does that. Why does it do that?
When I was younger, a flicky in my pocket. If I like I ain't looking at a bumper. I soon pull up in the range with my name up on that bumper. I ain't plain Jane. Tell him you will never see me play it safe. Even if I moved out the hood, I'm still a bait face. No AKs, but bro had a tray 8. That barrel on the rate, it spins like a Beyblade. Every day I eat right and still I gotta say my grace. Still up in the same hood. I know my God will make a way. I never came to save the day. I'm flying in a paper plane. See me with a chain on my neck, but I ain't flavor. I'm comfy and I ain't even chilling in my gaff. Used to bust it to a cat. English breakfast at the calf. You can go and ask my cuz, we were loading up that hit the door for the latch and you can go and do the math. I just wanna plus.
Yeah, man, I'm happy with that. I think that sounds good. I think I'm only here to add stuff. If I'm doing anything on the master bus that's not for a purpose, then I know I need to go back to my mix and mess around with the mix. If I'm not happy with the tune still, the mastering, if you're at mastering and you're still not happy with how the song sounds, they say you can't polish a turd. Like, don't try and save your song in mastering. Don't try and save your recording and mixing. Like, get everything perfect in stages and your tracks will sound lit. Trust me. So that is the end of the video. That's all I wanted to show you guys. Thank you, of course, for watching as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We're trying to get this channel to grow. I want to do some new things. I want to do some bigger things. But first, I need to make sure I need to be confident that everyone is enjoying my videos, who's watching it and are sticking around for the ride. Please leave a like if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.